Hey guys, I'm back for workshop 3. This is where we're going to really start to take our somatic drawings quite a lot deeper, and we're going to start to develop them into studio practice. Okay, so what I'm going to do before I actually start the workshop though is I'm just going to show you over the somatic drawing that we're going to work on first, which is that one that I did for you standing up on the glass, where I had that difficulty in my foot when I felt like there was an energy escape going into the ground, and I had quite a lot of discomfort in my foot, and I was dabbling around down here for a long time. Okay, so you can see there's quite a lot of rich colour that you can work with in these somatic drawings, because the colours get together and mingle really, and they make what I like to call happy accidents. Okay, and then those happy accidents of colour and texture can be exploited in purposeful and random ways in workshop practice. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to show you my workshop materials. Okay, this particular workup I'm going to do in studio practice is going to be mixed media, right? I studied very fortunately under a beautiful artist named Kiatsung, who's a very well collectible mixed media artist, and he showed me the most beautiful technique for mixed media that I'm going to show you now. Okay, so what I like to work with, I would like to work in many ways. We can build the original work up using pens. Okay, and I like to use all sorts of pens, whatever I can get my hands on. I've got Sharpies, I've got highlighters, I've got standard pencils, Poscas, there's some metallic ones, black pens, white pens, you name it. I love it. I love working with pens. Okay, and then a step removed from that is pen and ink. Okay, I usually have heaps of colors of ink, but after going through the floods recently, I must say I don't have a lot in my toolbox at the moment. I used to have a lot more, but I do have one of the things that I most love, which is my ink nib. So this is my pen and ink nib, and it is actually on a feather. These nibs I collected, they're more than 100 years old. They're made in England, and they're just common post office nibs back in the day, but that's a whole nother story. So I use those just to draw or to write script in. You can develop these with text as well, which is beautiful. Another thing I like to use when I'm doing mixed media is oil pastels. They're like painting in oils, but just so much less mess, and so easy to use and blend. So they're really lovely to use. I will sometimes work on with acrylic paints as well, but usually I'll switch to oils by now. Okay, so I've got my raggedy collection of oil paints that I will switch into, but I won't use those till the very sort of top layers, because you have to remember that once you work onto a surface with oil, you can't really then go putting a lot of other stuff over the top of it. All right, so oil's generally the top layer. I mean, you can, but you can get an unreliable results. All right, so the other thing I like to do is actually build layers up with other papers onto my mixed media. So what I use to glue is craft glue, and then I will glue things on, like I've got brown paper, which I might tear up and glue on, and tracing paper. This is a technique that Kiatsung showed me back in my student days, and it involves just sort of tearing off little pieces of tracing paper and sticking them over the original work, just to create different tonal textures and opacities, and then you can sort of work back in over the top of that as well. Another thing that he showed me to do, which I'm not doing for this workshop, but which I have done in the past and which is lovely, is to photocopy some of your journal entries. You can, if you've got access to a photocopier or a printer, you can just run off black and white copies of your drawings, and you can then sort of tear those up and paste those in bits and pieces onto your paper as well. Seeing that I am making a stop in this and coming back to it, I might actually go through some of my old journals, which I do just have on hand, and see if I can find some old photocopied material that I might not have used in earlier work, and then I can show you that process too. I just don't have a photocopier at this point. So I showed you the tracing paper, I showed you the brown paper. The other thing is scissors, glue, brushes, and I will often have gold leaf, but I don't have any at the moment. I think that's about it. Okay, so while we've got little Sally there asleep on the couch overlooking me, I will get set up for this. I'll pop over to the journals, see if I can get something photocopied, get set up for this, and then I'll come back, and what I'll do is I'll just start working into it in real time with you guys. You'll see that I mostly just do a condensed time lapse of this stuff, because it gives a beautiful effect of working up your work. But you don't sort of get to have an explanation of why I might be doing particular things and with materials and other tips and tricks that we could do. So I'll talk you through a little bit of it till I think you've got it covered, and then I may even stop the presentation again and time lapse the remainder of this work, but we'll just see how it all goes. All right, I'll be back. So I'll see you ready to go at the next video.